Yeah, I bid you welcome once again to our daily countdown on Niger Superfans Forum. My name is Oluwafemi Ashalu. It's officially 16 days to the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. And today we'll start in Tunisia, where Tunisia, of course, the Qatar Deguiche, they risk being thrown out of the 2022 FIFA World Cup because of issues of interference that FIFA said they've noticed in that part of Africa. And it is very, very, very sad. And of course, we'll take a trip to Ghana and Senegal. Of course, some of our fans on Niger Fans Forum on our YouTube channel, they've been lamenting about the high cost of the budget for the World Cup. Remember, last week we told you on one of our countdown that Senegal they've budgeted $21 million to prosecute the World Cup, as well as, of course, the GFA also came out that the Ghanaian government has approved the budget for the World Cup. So some of you were asking if Ghana is going to take the loan from IMF. Of course, I do not know. And someone said $21 million to prosecute the World Cup. We said, what about school infrastructure, health facilities in that country? We'll be looking at that on the show today. Kayode Unjare joins us via video. Kayode, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Remy. It's always a pleasure, as usual. Let's keep sure.
James, you're welcome.
Always a pleasure, Femi.
You are really flagging Real Madrid these days. No longer with us now.
No, I just love the jersey, that's why.
Okay. So let's get started. Kari, I don't know where to start from, whether Tunisia or from... But let's start from some comment from our fans, of course. This part of our daily countdown. Because some of them have said, some Ghanaians particularly, they were asking where the GFA will get money or where the Ghanaian government will get money to prosecute the 2022 World Cup for the Black Stars. Someone particularly asked if they're going to take the money from the IMF. And this comes from on the heels of the news that Senegal has budgeted $21 million. I also raised the alarm last week on the show. $21 million is a lot of money. It's enough to even build a new city. What is your reaction to this?
Number one, $21 million will not build any city. But
if you compare that to Naira or to city, it's a lot of money, Kayode. Or maybe a mini city.
Point, actually. Yeah, it's a lot of money by African standards. And if I am not mistaken, a chunk of that money will come from the FIFA qualification bonus, which is as much as $12 million. Femi. So in essence, what the government or the Senegalese FA will look around for will be just like less than around $9 million.
Okay, Kayode, sorry, that takes me to the next question. The money FIFA will pay to national teams who qualify for the World Cup, is it going to be paid to the government of the country or to the federation itself?
Actually, the FIFA doesn't have any business with the government. Its business is with the federating associations. It is the member associations. That's, of course, it is government money. It is the money of the Senegalese people. But then it is the FA that will collect the money on behalf of Senegal. How they are going to spend it depends on the interrelations between the government and the FA. So for me, if that chunk of the money, that's like 12 million out of the 21 million, has already been accounted for, although they might not get the money in time for preparations. So if the government is going to advance them a loan, they will do that, pending when FIFA will pay the bonus and they can now return the money to wherever they got the loan for. But it is sure that out of the 21 million, 12 million will come from FIFA. Then, depending on how far your country goes, Femi, because it's a graduated bonus. If you get out of the group stage, you're going to get a certain amount. If you get through the quarterfinals, you get a certain amount. If you get to the semi-final, so who says an African country cannot make as much as $50 million if they go as far as that stage? So for me, the monies, if the monies they are going to be looking around for is less than 10 million, we're talking about Senegal now. It could be higher, it could be lower for Ghana. But what it shows is every one of the participating teams has $12 million waiting for them already.
Okay. James, I don't know how you feel about this. $21 million, I feel like shrinking. $21 million is a lot of money. And people are reacting. These are countries that we know, of course, we live in the same continent, that schools, health infrastructure, roads, some of these things are not even there. And they're saying $21 million to prosecute the World Cup. Whether the subvention is going to come from the government or it will be part of what FIFA will give the association, don't you think it is huge? If you remember, I also raised the alarm last week on the show that to me, I think it is actually on the high side.
Femi, I don't know what fans really want. I remember when the qualifiers took place and these teams qualified, we saw all the fans were shouting happy, and now the World Cup is so close, they are already complaining about they should not give up their sport and allow the teams that they defeated to take over. They allow Senegal should allow Egypt, then Ghana should allow Nigeria. If they had complained about the money that they're going to, I mean, this is not the first time they're going to the World Cup.
Even the Ghanaian fans are saying if the GFA or the Ghanaian government is going to take the loan from the IMF.
No, I mean, this is already too late. I mean, you know that you're going to the World Cup, you're going to spend money. All these other big teams, the Germans, the Spaniards, all these people, they know that going to the World Cup is, you are going to spend money.
But they know what is going to accrue.
These guys have been going to the World Cup before. Ghana started going to the World Cup 2006, and they spent money. Senegal went to their first World Cup in 2002. So they know what it takes going to the World. They know that they are going to spend money, and budget. You're going to make budget for all these things. So why are they shouting? I mean, if they're not interested, they allow that team to take over their place. I mean, they are happy. The true parties, they were so.
So you're saying
even Ghanaians are
you're
still,
saying the Blasters
Ghanaians
should allow the Super Eagles to go to the World Cup. Is that what you're saying?
Ghanaians are still making fun of Nigeria today for beating Nigeria for qualifying for the World Cup. Now they are complaining that the money is too much. I mean, you're going to the World. This is the biggest tournament in the world in football. We're talking about football, and you're going to the World Cup. You're going to spend money. If your team. It's as if you are doing investment. If your team can go as far as the final, you're going to recoup your money back. So you're not left for the coaches and the players.
They're going to go as far
as the final. I mean, you know,
okay,
so
mention the African
you
country.
recoup your every stage.
Maybe you've seen the crystal ball.
Just like what if you qualify from the group stage to the second round, the quarterfinal, I mean, you'll be making money. So it's not left. All they need to do now is to pray that their players, the team, do well so that you're able to recoup their money back.
So how much money you spend at the World Cup? I don't know. I'm not sure how much money you spend preparing for the World Cup. I'm not sure that will determine how far you go. Maybe it's just to make you feel comfortable, and then playing at the tournament, doing well at the tournament is a different kettle of fish altogether. Well, our fans that thrown up those concerns in their comment section, I hope Kayode and James have addressed your issue, and I don't know whether you agree. If you agree or disagree with them, please still indicate in the comment section. Okay, let's go to Tunisia now, where we said FIFA, they've raised alarm over issue of interference in that country, and they are saying that if it continues, we have just 16 days to the World Cup, that they might just ask Tunisia to stay back at home and watch the Qatar should watch the World Cup from home. But Kayode, first, is it really possible? Is it possible that as close as the World Cup is now, FIFA can tell Tunisia to stay back at home? And of course, let's quickly touch on the issue of interference in football by government.
Definitely they can. And in that case, what will happen, because we are talking political interference now, what will happen in that situation is, if it is too close to the World Cup to get a replacement, they will just let their group B, have a three-team group. But if you are, to answer your question, it is very, very possible to do that. They can actually ask them, because whether you like it or not, even though it is Qatar that is hosting, they are hosting FIFA's tournament. And it is FIFA who determines who comes to the party. If FIFA can decide that Qatar is not even hosting, again,
they bring it to Nigeria.
Yeah, you are a thief. It is their tournament. They can decide who is hosting and who is coming to the party or not even Qatar. What FIFA requires of teams is of hosting countries is that you get government guarantees that you hand over everything to FIFA. FIFA would, even though your officials will be used, but it is FIFA's tournament. FIFA will determine who and who gets a pass to enter the country. FIFA will determine. Of course, that means you have not broken any of the country's laws, but FIFA will determine whether you get it or not. So it's FIFA's letter of approval that will make sure that we ensure that you get into Qatar or not. So it is FIFA's party. They can decide to throw out Tunisia, but I hope that will not happen, because it will just bring up a lot of other issues. Hopefully, it will not get to that.
Okay, we're already running out of time. James, FIFA said any failure to comply with these obligations may result in the imposition of penalties under the FIFA laws, including suspension of the relevant association. I know when we discussed this issue before we came to the studio, you actually played it down that it is just But like how they said, it is something that FIFA can actually, they can wield the big stick and say, Tunisia, please stay at home, don't come to
The
Qatar.
good thing there is FIFA don't just argue. What they do, they tend to warn you first before they come hard on you. I mean, you begin to imagine, this thing is always, we always say Africa, Africa all the time. This thing is always common with Africa. I don't know.
I think at the moment, Zimbabwe and I think Zambia, I think there are two federations currently in Africa who are still under FIFA armor. They've not been participating because of political interference.
And the sad part is, all these countries, they know that once you do this, this is what FIFA will do, and they keep on. So you begin to imagine the way we think, the way we do our own thing here. So the good thing is FIFA has won them now, and it's so close to the World Cup, and I believe that they'll be able to put their house in order, because they can't afford to be kicked out of the World Cup. Now, I mean, it's too close. After all the stress of qualifying and the friendly games, this is not the time to now start interfering and cost your team a place in the World Cup. So I believe that with what FIFA has addressed to them now, I think that would send a message to them, and they're able to put their house in order and make sure that everything is put in place so that Tunisia don't get affected, because I mean, like I said, you can't come this far and now get kicked out of the World Cup, and the thing there is, FIFA might even leave that slot, which means that place is wasted.
Like they said, just 3 teams in the group.
Exactly, yeah, it's possible because it will be too close to now ask another team to now take over. So
they can ask Nigeria to come.
No. No, so for me, I think they were able to put everything in place, and I will not see an African team. At least we have enough issues already. So for an African to now get thrown out of the World Cup, I mean, it sends a bad signal again from this part of the world.
Okay, so it's actually Kenya and Zimbabwe. They are currently under FIFA armor, so they've not been participating in any football-related issue. FIFA organized football competition so far, Kenya and Zimbabwe. So Tunisia, please, no go fall around for the World Cup. So please continue to watch out for our daily countdown on Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Tomorrow it will be 15 days to the tournament. I know now national teams maybe will be sending letter of reminders to clubs across Europe. Please release this player, or please stop using this player for. I think England, they even have a plan to write to the big teams in the Premier League not to use some of their players that will be going to the World Cup for their next match, the next couple of games before the World Cup. So I'm sure national teams will be considering that, maybe thinking about writing to national teams to say, please release James Agberebi maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the tournament. Kado Gundare, thank you for joining us via video today on our daily countdown.
Thank you very much, Remy. See you tomorrow.
All right. And to our fans, thank you very much for always staying through with us. We hope at least this countdown, we've brought a lot of news and preparation, and of course put you in the mood for the tournament. James Agberebi, thank you also for coming.
Always a pleasure.
So until tomorrow, 15 days to the World Cup, please continue to watch out for our daily countdown. I remain Oluwafemi Ashaolu. Have fun. Bye for now.